Okay. Yeah, I think.
How's it going, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome into another episode of NAISB. We say hello to you and a happy weekend. It's wonderful. It's Saturday. What's not to love about Saturday, especially when we have NAI softball action. So we are recording this on Saturday morning and getting this out to you on Saturday. We don't want y'all to get into that routine, though, with our episodes. They will be coming out normally Tuesday and Friday as we get into the regular season. With this being our conference previews episodes, these take a little bit longer to prepare for. And we've had some pretty busy weeks with our other actual jobs, I guess, as you could say. But hey, we're here to talk a little softball, some games that have already happened, and also get into the second part of our conference previews on our part two of the 2025 season preview. We're going to be previewing the KCAC, the Appalachian Athletic Conference, the Red Rivers, the River States, the WHAC, the Sun, the Southern States, Northstar, the Sooner, and the revamped GSAC. But first, my name is Reagan Harold. That is former All-American middle and shortstop Carly Fitzer. And Carly, we have got some games to talk about. We had some first happen already. It didn't take long. Opening day happens. We already have our first classics NAI softball game with Weber and Louisiana Christian that resulted in our first walk-off of the year. And Carly, we also had our first upset. I'll let you take over to talk about Evangel taking down the defending champs in game one of their doubleheader, 3-2.
Yeah. Olu and Evangel, both respective teams picked to win their conferences this year. Olu coming in at number one. Um, Evangel takes a or wins their game 3-2 over Olu. Looks like they had it all going in the third inning. Started with Kenna Mayfield center or single to center. Put him up 1-0. Error put Kenna Mayfield at third. Um, they go up 3-0 later on a Facklum single to right. And then Olu tried to make a late comeback in the fifth and the seventh. Couple RBIs getting 3-2, but uh, Evangel was just too tough to handle.
Yeah, in game two, Olu did respond how you would think the Saints would. 8-0, 5 innings, took care of business. Alyssa Flores, who is no stranger to the big moment, provided three RBIs, had a big bases clearing double. Annika Laterio led the way in the circle, a new name there for Olu. 5 innings, 7 strikeouts, no walks, 1 hit. That's a Cassie Valdez line. But like you said, great start for Evangel, a great win to start off their season. And they will have a chance to do it again as they play another doubleheader today against Olu. If they're able to split that 4 game set, that would be massive for the Valor before they even get into KCAC play. But Carla, we already have a game of the year candidate early on. The same day we were supposed to get the result of Marsh's pick. Hope y'all enjoyed that side of that new segment on the podcast. Unfortunately, LSUA and Weber got rained out or their lightning delay or whatever. But there was plenty of action in that game before with the other Louisiana team that the Warriors faced and Louisiana Christian. Louisiana Christian won that one 9-8. Carly Weber had it was tied up with them 5-5 heading into the seventh, put up a 3 spot in the top of the seventh, but then in the bottom of the seventh, with 1 out, LCU's able to get a couple of walks, a couple hit batters, move runners over, and put a 4 spot up in the bottom of the seventh to win 9-8. Just a crazy game to literally the first game of the season is an absolute tone setter for the NAI softball slate in 2025.
Yeah.
All right, let's go ahead and get into it. Let's not keep these people listening who are here to listen about their conference and everything, and we'll just turn back to the KCAC, which you're previewing on today's episode with the team that you're really high on in Evangel and Friends. I know there's a couple other teams you're really high on in the KCAC this year.
Yeah. Yeah. Big fan of the KCAC. Pretty deep conference in the top half. So 2024, Evangel took home KCAC regular season title, won the tournament as well. They had a 22-4 conference record. They are picked number one to win it this year. So 37-9 overall. They bring back Maddie Meyer, 1.44 ERA last year, 199 Ks. Maddie Bentley, solid number two for them in the circle. They got Carly Romines, Ellie Facklum, Kenna Mayfield, Naomi Perkins, a couple of newcomers this year. So looks to be a lot like the team they had last year. Probably why they're picked number one again this year. So Evangel coming in at number one. Your team that you really enjoyed last year, my team, I kind of got my money on this year. Friends,
Yep.
34 and 19 last year. They bring back Riley Wirtz, first team pitcher, 1.58 ERA, 154 Ks. Priscilla Moore, another first teamer for them. Becca Dunn, All American, hit 500 last year. Alex Vick, Jaden Estabrook, a couple newcomers, JUCO transfers. Tamara Lazoya, she was all conference. And then a couple freshmen, Tegan Moreno, Cadence Magana. They got two players coming back from season-ending injuries in 2024. Elena Montoya, she'll be starting behind the plate this season. Tremendous arm speed, tremendous arm. They got speed on the bases this year. That'll be a huge addition for them. Defense will be one of the best that they've had, and the lineup will have some added speed and aggressiveness on the bases. They're returning their 3, 4, 5 hole of the lineup. I'm looking for Friends to have pretty solid season this year, especially in the KCAC.
Yeah, I'm with you. I like to think maybe I was just a year early on picking Friends to be one of my dark horse World Series teams.
I think you were.
Maybe I very well may have been, but like you said, they return so much in the middle of that lineup, and they also bring back some key pieces that got injured there. If their defense takes a step forward and their pitching is what it was last year with Riley Wirtz leading the way, arguably the best pitcher in that conference heading into the year, Carly, I don't see why Friends could prove me right just about a year later.
Yeah. So moving on to pick to finish number three in the conference, we got Avila. They go 32 and 21 last year. Big loss in Chelsea Kurtz. I mean, 80 stolen bases last year. Hit 405. Loss of Montana Stangel, but they do bring back Stephanie Hayes. Hit 278, had 11 home runs. Hallie Campbell, catcher. Kazem Wood hit 333, 29 stolen bases, and Kennedy Lara. So yeah, Avila running middle of the pack could be another dark horse too in the KCAC.
Yeah, that's probably what I would tab it as my dark horse. Remember them a 5 seed a couple of years ago, winning
Yep,
that tournament. That we'll get to see really what they're made of early on. They have some tough tests down in Shawnee. We'll see them at the NAISB Invitational.
sure will. Moving on to number four in the conference, we got Ottawa. They go 40 and 18 last year. First season with their new head coach, Miley Deutsch. She'll be the head coach. And then Kenley Franklin will be their new added assistant. They return Kate Enneking, Macy Rover, Addison Spencer, Megan Kennedy. And they got a couple newcomers, two right-handed pitchers in Megan Stoll and Sarah Smith. That'll be a good addition for them in the pitching room. And then they make some additions to the infield and outfield. So yeah, I'm interested to see how they see if they can pick up where they left off last year with their new head coach, Deutsch.
Yeah, Carly, those teams you just mentioned, postseason experience, mixed in and there. Definitely some teams we could see make an opening round and cause some damage. No top 10 teams really in there, but definitely some teams that could mix some things up. Who are some other teams in the KCAC you could see making that conference tournament and being what Avila was a couple years ago?
I'm gonna say University of St. Mary. They're picked. They're picked number five this year. They got a couple Gold Glovers returning. Pretty good pitching staff. All of them returned. Um, yeah, I don't know. I like the look of St. Mary kind of making a surprise run, especially later in the season.
Yeah, I like that. Like you said, returning a lot of production, especially in the outfield with Alexis McDaniel. That's a big name for them. Who else? Just like what we got back questionnaires. What else you got on the KCAC?
Let's see here. Sorry, my computer is. Yeah, and then Kansas Wesleyan, they go 24-20 last year. They're picked seventh in this conference. They got Josie Burr, Christabel Alvarado, Caitlin Collier, Trinity Miller. They add a couple more, four more newcomers to their lineup and their pitching staff. Number 11 this year on the preseason rankings, we got Sterling. They bring back first team third baseman Ayana Campos, Desiree Perales, Kelly Herlas, Cheyenne Cunningham. They have a new assistant in Kellen Gicante and a couple newcomers to their lineup as well. We got Bethel coming in at 12. They return Madeline Debs. Tabor at number 8. They got Lainey Ray Miller, their third baseman, Laura Savage, their outfielder. Um, yeah, and then Southwestern College, they're picked 14th, and McPherson, they're picked 10th in their conference. But moving on, I picked for my winner of the KCAC this year to be Friends. I really like the look of Friends this year. Deep team, return a lot of people. And my pitcher of the year is Riley Wirtz, and my player of the year will be Becca Dunn.
Hmm. I like it. I like it a lot. I was like I said, I was on Friends last year. I would hate to hop off that, and then it happens this year. But I'm gonna do it. I like the Valor. I'm a big fan of Evangel. Could definitely say that's a little bit of recency bias as soon as, with them getting that win right, there. But look, they won the regular season last year. They won the tournament. They bring a lot back. I feel like this is a team that not only will win the KCAC, Carly, I think it's a team to watch out for. Definitely a dark horse candidate to make it to Columbus this year.
I agree. I agree. I
Yeah,
just got to go for my friends down there, my friends and friends.
yeah, good. I like it. That was good. That was a good one. Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me. I can see France competing. We'll see Ottawa, new era, Brave softball. Avila will be in the mix too. But yeah, I tell you what, I'll take Evangel in the regular season, but I will take Friends in the postseason tournament.
Okay, I like that.
Okay. Moving on to my conference, the Sun Conference. I tell you, it's going to be another really, really fun year. If y'all remember last year, this was probably the most fun conference towards the end of the year, just as far as having teams both with the regular season title and making the conference tournament, going down to the final game of the Sun Conference season with like 3 or 4 games having big time postseason implications on the last day. That was an incredible ending, but it was Coastal Georgia, the veteran Mike Minnick leading his team to a regular season championship with a good mix of freshmen and seniors on that team that is now a very sophomore, freshman heavy team out of Brunswick. They were able to beat St. Thomas 2 out of the last 3. Actually, they lost that first game and then won the next 2 to win the Sun Conference regular season, but the Bobcats, they got their revenge in the postseason, winning the Sun Conference tournament. Man, this is going to be a phenomenal year. I think this is going to be the best we've seen the Sun Conference since that 2022 year when you had Coastal staying in the top 10 and you had Weber and Southeastern make the World Series. St. Thomas is picked to win the regular season this year. They returned more production in the lineup than just about anybody definitely the most production coming back in the Sun Conference, or some of the best coming back in the NAI. They bring back Kopikova, Gabby Gilbert, of course, Anna Toon. They have Maya back at the top of the lineup. Just really, really strong core coming back. I mean, you talk about returning 6, 7 players from your lineup that were key contributors to a team that broke through a glass ceiling for St. Thomas in winning the conference tournament and winning opening round games. Remember, Carly, St. Thomas was a game away from the World Series. Like they had Oregon Tech down to the wire in Klamath Falls. Not only that, Carly, it's time to put everybody listen. I need you to listen up. Like I know we're going through and we're saying a lot of names and they get mixed up. I need y'all to remember this one. They added the number 1 transfer in the NAI this year. We alluded to this a little bit in the last episode when we were talking about Jordan Ball transferring to Indiana Wesleyan. But Isabella and Duhar Isabella Andujar. She'll be a catcher and DH for St. Thomas this year. She's transferring from the University of Charleston, where she went on a deep Division II World Series run with them. Over her 2-year career, she batted 373 with 31 home runs, 25 doubles, and 18, or excuse me, 98 RBIs. Last season, she had 18 home runs and 18 doubles, batting 357. Carly, this is a serious, serious name coming in. This is not your average transfer. Oh, here we go. This is a massive get for Coach JC Gutierrez and his program, and it's a name. Look, I'll be shocked if she's not putting up some crazy, crazy numbers this year.
Oh, I'm very excited to see what she can produce this year.
Yeah, and what's already a lineup that returns so much production. Plus, they bring back their top two pitchers. Melody was their number two pitcher, and of course, Anna Toon was their ace, bringing those two back and a couple other JUCO arms. They also bring another D2 transfer in from Nova Southeastern to contribute in the lineup. So just a really, really dangerous team coming back. But it's not going to be easy because they have Coastal Georgia, who is picked to finish second, and they lost some key pieces. Yes, and Rory Rhodes, Bryce Peacock, Sarah Thinger. Those are some big names to replace. But they also return a good bit of production. They bring in 9 freshmen as well. The main piece coming back, of course, is Riley Mills, last year's Sun Conference Freshman of the Year as a walk-on, which Coach Minnick he joked about a pretty good bit in the Sun Conference Media Day. By the way, if y'all want to get any more in-depth information on any of these Sun Conference teams, you can head over to the Sun Conference on YouTube. And while you're on YouTube, if you're not subscribed to NAISB, subscribe to NAISB, of course. But you can check out Media Day interviews with all of these coaches and players. But anyways, Riley Mills, I mean, she had 14 doubles to lead the team, 40 RBIs and a 1.95 ERA. They return a bunch of other sophomores, like I alluded to earlier. They had a ton of freshmen last year. They got some key postseason experience up in Williamsburg at that opening round where they made a deep run, made it to the final two there. They bring back Emma Jones, Mackenzie Sutherland, Juliana Batts, and Riley Andrews. A couple of seniors to lead the way would be Alyssa Haggerty and Zoe Johnson Hadaway. I know Coach Mick's really excited about this freshman coming in, plus his returning production. It's going to be another really, really good Coastal Georgia team. Right behind them, also in the top 25 this year, the Southeastern Fire. Now, pitching will look a little bit different. 2 big names graduated from that program in Lakeland. Claire Seconder, Autumn Hunter. Obviously, the last 3-4 years, a ton of production there. But Carly, they do bring back one of the best young arms in the country, and Eden Ply. I know someone you were really fired up just kind of seeing on the stats, and then when I went to finally watch for the first time, I was like, oh yeah, she's got another one. They got another really good young arm. Not only that, the way that Eden pitches, it really complements the way that they're playing behind her. 30 appearances last year. She had 10 complete games, 5 shutouts, sub 2 ERA, only 69 strikeouts. That's not going to really wow you. But when you have arguably one of the best defensive left sides in the country, Chapel Cunningham, Lauren Seconder, you have a really good first baseman in Leah Gonzalez coming back. So a really steady veteran infield there for Southeastern, for Eden and the new pitchers that they have coming in. And of course, if we're going to talk about Southeastern, it's speed offensively. Now, no more Riley Sanders, which of course there's a lot of that speed that won't be there, but still have the Brooks sisters that are returning 20 plus stolen bases. Chapel's going to be at the top of the conference in stolen bases, probably have 30, 40 at least from her. They've added some power pieces. Leah Gonzalez, of course, a power piece coming back. But Carly, I think those 3 teams are going to stay in the top 25 for the majority of the year, be in opening rounds. And we can't have another year of NAISB being a thing and not having a Sun Conference team in Columbus. I think they're like that's been the softball gods like testing me, like saying, hey, your first 2 years, Reagan, you can't have a Sun Conference team in Columbus. But hey, I've learned. No bias. No bias. No bias. Could be Weber. No bias, I promise. But yeah, I think those three teams will be there. And for me, it's tough for me to see the Sun Conference having less than three teams. It's also kind of tough for me to see the conference break through and get a fourth team. If there is a fourth team that makes that opening round, I could see it being Kaiser. They returned their ace in the circle. Everybody knows a great utility player and Lizzie Small. Brooke Dunham was a big get for them in the transfer portal a year or two ago. She returns at second base. Iglesias was a great freshman shortstop for them, and they have the veteran Macy Schaff at the top of the lineup. It's a great slapper at the top of the lineup. Kaiser could be a team that breaks through. I could see Florida Memorial potentially being that team also. I would say Kaiser would really be the dark horse with them having a big year. I think it'd be a little more expected if they're one of the teams not named Coastal Georgia, St. Thomas, or Southeastern to win this conference. But Florida Memorial, I would definitely say would be that. And they have a lot of the ingredients to make this happen. They returned most of their production. Sierra Justice, Heidi Olivio, two big names. They've added some international talent that they're excited about. Emma Silver was their main producer in the circle. She's back, and they've also added a JUCO arm. I could see those two being dark horses. Could also, as for the other four teams, just first off, New College of Florida, new to the conference, their second year program. We'll see what they can do. I think Ave Maria has one of the more underrated pitchers coming back in Caden Sutton. She had a really good sophomore year. I think she'll continue on her junior year. Warner, they have some nice pieces coming back to the lineup, including Tyler Mooring and Remy Camp. And of course, my alma mater, the Weber International University Warriors. Of course, they'll be led by Taylor Thomas in the circle. Talia Romero had a really good freshman campaign. So did Sam Hudson. We'll see if they can build on that in their senior years. And they have some veteran experience with J.K. Bland, Lexi Watkins, and Haley Saylor in the lineup. We'll see what the Warriors can do. So we show that the lineup was able to produce in their first couple games. Just have to hold on to some of those late leads, which Carly, you know how difficult that can be.
That is probably one of the hardest things to do.
Yeah. It's time to pick. Look, this is tough for me to do. Mostly because, I mean, this is me just being transparent, Carly. With football, we went down to St. Thomas and we lost a heartbreaker, 45-44 to the Bobcats. But I am going to pick St. Thomas to sweep. I think this is going to be another fun year in the Sun Conference. It's going to be competitive, especially with those three teams at the top. But there's too much firepower coming back and coming into St. Thomas with what they have in the lineup. I think the pitching will get it done. And I think Southeastern and Coastal, they just have a couple more questions to answer than St. Thomas does. Now, if they're able to answer those, like Southeastern, what's the rest of the pitching going to look like? How much are they going to be able to lean on Playa? Are they able to get runs across for Coastal Georgia? Who's is Riley ready to really step up and be that number one? Are they going to have a number two who's going to replace Big Glove at second base? I mean, Bryce Peacock's bat's got to be replaced. With St. Thomas, it's like, okay, we know it's there. We expect things to continue to go. What my question now is the base running good? Is the defense solid? Because I think a lot of other questions have been answered. My picks, though, I'm going for player and pitcher of the year. I'm gonna go, I haven't seen her play, but I'm picking it Isabella from St. Thomas. With those numbers coming from D2, I expect a big year. Pitcher of the year, I'm gonna go Eden Playa from Southeastern.
Hey, you know what? I ride the Eden Playa. Would like to see Andujar win it. So we'll see.
Like you want to go against me or anything with with the St. Thomas, Coastal or Southeastern or anything, or do you think St.
Um,
is just a little bit ahead here in the Sun?
I no, I like what you said about, we know a lot more about St. Thomas. They answer a lot more of our questions. If I did go against you, I'd probably have to say it'd be kind of a repeat of what happened last year.
Sure.
Um,
Yeah,
Coastal Georgia away regular season, St. Thomas uh, takes the tournament.
yeah, and you can't look past Mike Minnick's going on year 12 there. there's a ton of experience. He knows how to win these conference tournament games. And a Southeastern group that's still looking to break through and win that conference tournament. That's something that still hasn't been done in that era in Lakeland. So, they're going to be really, really on that. And Coach Watkins want to get that Sun Conference tournament title. But yeah, I just think there's too much at St. Thomas. And look, I mean, what he's done, what Coach JC Gutierrez has done in just a few short years, 3 years in Miami Gardens, and it's crazy, to think looking now versus two years ago, saying, "Hey, yeah, the team with the least amount of questions in Sun Conference softball are the St. Thomas Bobcats." I mean, a real testament to what he's done down there. But Carly, staying in the Southeast region, let's head just a little bit north of the Sun Conference to the AAC.
Yeah. Another deep conference here that we're going to be talking about. Last year, 2024, Reinhardt swept both the regular season and the tournament championship. They finished 42-10 on the year. A little bit of a different story this year. Tennessee Wesleyan um, is picked to win the AAC this year. They earned an opening round berth after their advancement to the tournament championship against Reinhardt. But starting off with Columbia International, um, they are picked number 12 this year in the AAC. Kind of went on a hot run last year towards the end of the season, came up a little bit short of a postseason berth, but they ended the year on a 10-game win streak. They returned some production in Megan Stolzenbach, Dallas Mayers, Carmela Court, Lily Petty. They pick up four more in the offseason. So yeah, they added some big bats, some arms in their transfers, and some freshmen that kind of helped them out this year. So we'll see if they can continue their hot streak.
Yep.
Number 13, Kentucky Christian. They return Ashton Blackburn, Ace Prince, Sarah Leba, pick up a couple people in the offseason, Alina Ruiz, Rebecca Angler, and they add assistant coach Caroline Donathan. Number 9, Montreat. They return Haley Fethke, Jasmine Rachel, Amaya Hernandez, pick up a couple transfers in Carter Thornton from CSU Bakerfield, Maggie Knight from Chat State, and Rebecca Carson from Spokane Falls Community College. They're deep with pitching. They've added a few bats, and they're excited this year to play a tougher schedule.
Yeah, another team heading out to Oklahoma. I mean, a heck of a trek from North Carolina to Oklahoma. And I mean, they talk about a team that's been dealing with a lot this offseason. I mean, they were right in the path of the hurricane that I mean went through the
Yeah,
Carolinas and Appalachian area. But they're ready to go. We're excited to have Coach Corbin Weeks and Montreat Cavaliers in Oklahoma.
yeah. Moving on to number 5, Bruno University. Bruno?
Right yeah.
Bruno.
Mhm.
Uh, 26-18 last year. They bring back Ava Moon. She hit 410 as a freshman, had 30 stolen bases. Whitney Holsey, Dayton Power had 38 RBIs, hit 378. Lose one of their best hitters, and Hannah Petridge hit 457, had 45 RBIs, and veteran pitcher Sarah Shawn. But I mean, they had Malia Lee and Carly Neal. They both saw on average 65 innings each. So they've got some experience there in the circle. They got some newcomers in Mallory Watson, Allie Busby, Emily Hall. Um, Moving on to Johnson University. They are,
I'm excited for this one. I'm excited for this one. I got two teams that we're going to talk about today that I had coming out. Was wanting to do one for 1 and 1, for one for part one for part two, but that just happened. The two teams I wanted to give this award to are going to be talked about today, and this is the first one, Carly. This is the team. Remember last year, Carly, we got on a table. We got on the table and we said Madonna is one of the best teams in the country. The Madonna Crusaders are going to make a deep postseason run, and they did.
yeah,
Johnson University is my first Madonna Watch It team. They are loaded. I'll let you get back to it, but with what they have coming back, who they have as a head coach, what they have coming in, I like this team a lot, Carly.
yeah. So Like you said, loaded. They returned all starters but one from last year's team. They went 26 and 15 last year. Talking about some of those returners, Audrey Morehouse hit 489, Lindy
But
Weber 95 and two-third innings under her belt through 337. Madison Pritchard 244 and 97. Megan Armstrong, Ella Hampton both hit around 355. And then they got some newcomers in Alyssa Nicely, Kaylee Dyke, Madison Wolf. Um,
yeah.
yeah, when you return all starters but one, a lot of chemistry, a lot of experience. I like what you said, Johnson University 2025 Madonna.
And I tell you what might even be a better comparison for this team because I don't think they are going to do what Madonna did completely. Like I don't know if this is a World Series team
Oh,
now.
and
Got
it's
this,
really hard to go undefeated in your conference.
yeah, that's not happening in this conference. But I think a better comparison for them would be more like Benedictine last year. So last year or 2 years ago, 3 years ago, Benedictine around 500, above 500 by a few games, maybe a potential break. And then they had a nice year last year, get in the top 25, make the conference tournament final, win the opening or not win win some opening round games, but come up just short some good teams in Coastal Georgia and the University of Cumberland's obviously. I think that's what Johnson is this year. I'll talk about the team later that I really think could make a deep, deep postseason run and make it to the World Series. But I am going to tab Johnson as don't be surprised when this team is a 2 or 3 seed in an opening round and punches somebody in the mouth.
I like that. Moving down the line, 2024 champs Reinhardt picked number two this year in the AAC, finished 42 and 10. Um, Lose a big player in Emily Lovelace. She put up good numbers for them last year. But they got Erin Lee returning at 306, Taylor Wade 394. And then they got Macy Langley, a freshman. She had 14 innings under her belt last year. They are starting the season with a new head coach in Matthew Wright. They got assistant Chad Pettit. Hey, they're just looking for a great season. We'll see what they can do.
Yeah, I mean, new era there
Yeah.
for Reinhardt. I think they handled a bit of a transition in the middle of that year pretty well. And now with building on it heading into this year is still the team to beat. Look, I'm high on Montreat. I'm obviously high on Johnson. There's another team in here I'm high on. We're about to talk about, but somebody's got to go take the crown off of Reinhardt, right, Carly?
Yep. Yep. Um, so yeah, keep going down the line here. Number four, Truett McConnell. They finished the year 26 and 18. Couple key returners for them. Jen O'Brien hit in the 400s last year. Haley Cronick was first team All AAC, also an All American for them. They got Kendall Gibson, Cassie Boatwright, a couple newcomers, Mackenzie Heim, Elizabeth Bennett, Tristan Brady. New assistant coach Peyton Moore. But they return a great core group with a lot of experience. They got veteran in the circle, Kendall Gibson. Whole starting lineup back this year, in addition with freshman catcher Mackenzie Heim. She'll be starting behind the plate moving forward. Great looks for Truett McConnell.
Yeah, that's the other team that I would put up there as a team that could definitely win this conference and make some noise in the postseason. They do a really good job there, good coaching staff, and a good bit of production coming back. I like the Bears out of Georgia to make a little bit of noise in this conference.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. Um, so yeah, and then moving to number one pick this year, Tennessee Wesleyan. They go 27 and 15 last year. Made it to the postseason last year in the opening rounds. They returned Macy Chastain, 493, 20 stolen bases. One of probably the best players in the conference, Bailey Phillips, hit
Yeah.
429, 10 home runs. They got Courtney Sneed, who hit 456, Mackenzie Baldwin. They really only lose Taylor Penning in their starting lineup. She hit 339. And then pitching side for Bailey Phillips had a 1.05 ERA, 163 strikeouts. And a solid number two behind her, Isabella Jenkins, 270 ERA with 62 and a third innings pitched. I like Tennessee Wesleyan.
Yeah, they're going to be really strong. You want mention the other teams we didn't get anything from real quick, or you just want to go ahead and go into the your picks?
I'll hit Union Commonwealth. They returned our questionnaire. They're
Okay.
picked to finish 11 in this year's AAC. They got Megan McGinley, Carly Kane, Megan Merritt. They have Sarah Richardson as their interim head coach, replacing Renee Hicks. A couple newcomers, young team with key players coming back from injuries. They're looking to get them to play some key roles for them. So yeah, Union Commonwealth, and a couple teams we didn't touch on. Bryan, they're picked six, finished 17 and 22 last year. Milligan coming in at seven, Columbia at eight, Pikeville at 10, Bluefield at 14, and St. Andrews at 12. But moving on to kind of my predictions for
Our good friend
yes.
Mimi Magger now at St. Andrews, assistant coach.
Oh, okay, yeah, I was wondering where she was at.
Yep, she went from GA at Avila, now full-time assistant coach at St. Andrews. So,
Okay, shout out Mimi.
yep, damn good warrior, great coach.
Yeah. Um, So yeah, talking about some postseason awards, I got Bailey Phillips with a clean sweep of Player of the Year, Pitcher of the Year. Pretty hard to kind of go against her numbers she put up last year. Um, and I'm gonna ride with Tennessee Wesleyan taking the AAC, at least regular season tournament. Um, I might throw in Reinhardt. I might throw in Johnson. I like the looks of Johnson. But
Yep.
regular season, I'm gonna ride Tennessee Wesleyan.
I'm a halfway agree with you. I like Phillips pitcher of the year. I think that's where the smart money should go. I like them in the regular season as well. I think too much returning production coming back in that lineup. Too much coming back in the circle. I think they're going to win the regular season. However, I am going to go a different route with player of the year. I'm going to give that to Audrey Morehouse. I think she has got potential to lead not only that conference but the entire country. And batting average this year would not be surprised if she posts up one north of 500. I think she'll be a big part of their success, and she'll be a big part of the Johnson Royals winning the 2025 AAC Conference Tournament. So I'm high on the Royals. I think they are going to have a not only a big season, but I think this team will get hot at the right time in the postseason. That's a crazy thing to say on February 1st, but I'm a crazy guy, and so I'm going to rock with Johnson to win the tournament.
Yeah.
All right. Well, there's not this next conference is one you all know pretty well, especially the teams at the top. If you know anything about NAI softball, we are going to head to the state in which we are heading for the NAISB Invitational. That is the Sooner Athletic Conference, heading to that part of the world. Oklahoma City won the regular season, and Carly one of the more dominant regular seasons in recent memory. However, the postseason one, Oklahoma City is definitely looking to bounce back from. USAO winning the
Yeah.
conference tournament. Oklahoma City, they handled their opening round, but Carly will remember how the World Series ended for the Stars.
Yeah. In my personal bracket for the World Series, I had them going all the way, but
Yeah, same here, same here. I mean, just
can't win them
brilliant.
all.
Just I tell you, if we were pretty good in like predicting and all that in the regular season. When it got to the opening round, we did all right. We're pretty good. When that
Yeah.
World Series bracket came out, I don't think we could have been more wrong in trying
No,
to fill
no,
that.
we were so far off, but
But yeah, like we said, Oklahoma City won the regular season last year. USAO won the tournament to absolutely no one's surprise. They are picked 1-2 in the conference polls, followed by Mid American Christian, then Southwestern Christian, Wayland Baptist. They're right there tied for fourth. Texas Wesleyan six, Nelson at seven, Panhandle State eight, Central Christian and Langston round out the preseason coaches poll for the Sooner Athletic Conference. But Carly, let's talk about it. Two teams that are in my preseason World Series 10, Columbus 10, whatever. Starting off with USAO. This is the best pitching staff returning, period, in NAIA softball. I don't think there is much of an argument. You can throw some teams in here or there. But yeah, I mean, I'll argue against anybody if you want to, we can. I mean, we got Sophie Williams with a 1.15, 216 innings, 291 strikeouts coming back for her last year in a Drover uniform, and then the freshman phenom now a sophomore in Jaden Anderson. She had 117 strikeouts with a 1.73 ERA. Last year, they also bring in a freshman pitcher by the name of Aubrey Ferguson. Don't know how much we'll see with with the two names we just
Yeah.
mentioned. I'm sure that she is someone that will be beneficial throughout the regular season. I know a lot of people in the state of Oklahoma were very high on her coming out of high school, and now she is in the good hands of Coach Jaden Wallace. Of course, pitching is going to highlight talking about USAO, but it cannot be stated enough. The returning production in this year's lineup, led by the senior Sierra Selfridge, who batted 400 last year with 8 home runs, 20 doubles, and 60 RBIs. For another freshman phenom from last year, Leanne Eaton, she batted 328, 10 homers, 19 doubles, and they also returned to experience with Kenzie Williams, Jaden Goucher. So really powerful lineup. Goucher led the team with 11 home runs. That first 4 or 5, his first 4 or 5 bats with this pitching coming back, Carly. It's very easy to see why many people have them as the top team coming into the NAIA softball season.
Yeah. I mean, I got him as my top team. I think if you guys remember last year, I was very high on Olu. I think this year I'm going to be very high on USAO.
Yeah, you were on Olu from the jump last year, hopping on USL. Not a bad wagon to hit yourself to. I'm completely with it. But Oklahoma City, now a little bit different for them. Last year's team was just unreal, especially in the regular season. Obviously, the numbers that club was putting up, but they do lose 6 seniors, a lot of All-Americans in that group. Obviously, in the circle, there's Shelby Cornelson, who the last time the Stars were bringing a red banner back to OKC, was leading them in the circle. Garvey and Bailey Lux, just a couple of names off the top that my head they obviously have to replace, but it's not get it twisted, Carly. It's not like they're not bringing anybody back to Oklahoma City. Coach Phil McSpadden, the winningest coach in college softball history, does have Emerson Herron coming back, who was a NAI Player of the Year candidate if there wasn't someone named Sarah Giles out in California last year. But Emerson batted 414, 13 homers, 62 RBIs, as well as posting a sub-1 ERA, 0.89 and 141 innings. They have some really good defensive players coming back that can get it done with the lineup as well. This will be a clean defensive team. You have Tiffany Paul, one of the best gloves in America, and last year was her year returning from an injury that she had that knee injury a couple years ago. Wasn't quite the numbers that she put up in her first 2 years. I think that she will have a stat year more similar to 2022 there in Oklahoma City. They also have Annalise Rayburn, who batted right at 400 with 24 extra base hits. Riley Radacey, who's been north of 350 her whole career. I'm sure that they'll have some newcomers in there as well. This is still going to be one of the top teams. It's still a team I think will be in Columbus, and kind of like we said earlier with another coach. I can't remember, but anyways, Phil McSpadden's there. They're going to be okay. They're going to be in the postseason. They're going to be either the best or the second best team in this conference. I just feel like it's USA is just a little bit different beast this year. Oklahoma City, Carly, is there any doubt? Be honest, there any doubt in your mind this is not one of the top 10 best teams in the country right now or
No,
heading into the year?
no,
Okay.
not when you got those returning players and the GOAT.
Yeah. I do think there will be a new wrinkle though in the Sooner Athletic Conference this year. I think there will be a third team that really appears now the second year under Coach Jim Gasso. Mid-America Christian is picked to finish third. They return some really key contributors to their lineup. You, uh, a lot of speed coming back. They bring back uh, Vizcaya, who batted 331, 23 stolen bases, whereas Emily Campbell, who batted 325 with 23 stolen bases as well. Brooklyn Wilson returns, who batted 316, 13 doubles, 12 stolen bases. They do lose a couple of arms in the circle, but they do bring in a Connors State transfer in Brooke Wyatt, who in her freshman year at Connors State made 20 starts, finished 4-2 with an ERA just under 5. So some experience coming in to the circle. They also bring in a freshman and Nisa Dunn, second year for Coach Gasso in for Mid America Christian. Carly, do you think there's a chance that MacU I think there's definitely a chance they're going to crack the top 25. They made the opening round last year. I think it happens again this year. Do you think that they could compete for one of the top two spots in this conference?
I think they could. I think they're going to be tough to handle for a lot of teams. Um, so yeah, we'll just have to see if they can break through. But I think they're going to be pushing for it.
Yeah, and so some big additions to their coaching staff. Pamela Richardson, who had a really good career at Texas Southern, and then of course Shanice Delsay, who was a SEC Pitcher of the Year in 23, I think 2023 for the Arkansas Razorbacks. She had a really good career there. So obviously some top experience on the staff coming in with Coach Gasso's side. But I see those three teams in the opening round. But a team to watch out for is Southwestern Christian, who has a potential name that could break through as a player of the year, and Hannah Keeley coming back, one of the fastest players in the NAI. She is another name that could be competing for that batting average crown. She batted 479 last year with 46 stolen bases. They also bring back Jesse Morales, who batted 296, had 19 extra base hits. Uh, the big thing Southwestern Christian's going to need this year is their pitching to take a step forward. They return their leading pitcher from last year, and Lauren Schallert. They could if she improves her game and they're able to get a little more pop in that lineup, that could be a team that could come in and compete. Just looking at elsewhere, information we've gathered on teams in the Sooner. Nelson returns their center fielder Sasha Jennings, as well as their junior baseman Trista Ford and Candace Hopgood at catcher. They have a new pitcher they're excited about, Trinity Moore, and adding to the infield, and Marcella Bryan. Panhandle State, another team coming in. They return Audie Petaway, Gracie Lankford, KK Dupreez, and Melissa Carroll. They bring in Trinity Higgins, Marin Jacobs, and Summer Marin to their side. But Carly, looking at this conference, as far as prediction wise and everything, I got to go with the USAO sweep. It's just too no explanation really needed. I mean, this is the best pitching staff coming into the year. There's enough in the lineup where I'm not questioning it too much. I'm gonna go Sophie Williams for pitcher of the year. I will go with a star for player of the year. I'll go Emerson Herron. I think she has another insane year, especially with the bat, and she's gonna get player of the year.
Yeah. No, I'm 100% in agreement with you there.
Yeah, I mean, you never want to bet against Oklahoma City. I get it. But
Which I'm not. There's
yeah, they'll both be in Columbus. They're both going to be in Columbus, most likely.
yeah.
Well, Carly, let's talk about the team or the conference that had the team that brought the Red Banner home. Let's head down to the Red River, talk about Our Lady of the Lake and that conference.
Yeah. So Olu very dominant last year. We all know that. But this year's Red River Conference, they're picked again to finish first. Not far behind them, though, is LSU Alexandria. Olu received 118 points. LSUA got 112. Um, so yeah, we've seen Olu get some games under their belt already this year. We talked about that. LSUA has been getting some solid wins so far. Um, but yeah, we'll start with Texas A&M San Antonio, picked to finish sixth. They got Emily Palacios, Samara Aguilera, Kaylee Barlow, a couple newcomers in Chrissy Lara, Morgan Gutierrez, Carrie Perez. Um, Number four, Louisiana Christian. They went 29 and 21 last year. Maya Broussard was their RHP, hit or through 374. Brooke Ross, 278. Jordan Dothier behind the plate hit 373. They bring back Emma Hunt, Bella Hawk, Morgan Louvier. Six newcomers, mix of infield, outfield, another right-handed pitcher added to them. They got a lot of returning players. And they had a pretty tough schedule last season, but they saw quite a bit of success. Um, so I see them as a solid number four this year in the Red River. LSUA, number two this year, pick number two. I really like the looks of this team this year. They go 38 and 14 last year. I love Haley Fontenot and the numbers that she put up last year. First team All American, hit 534, 12 home runs, 22 stolen bases. Um, I'll touch more on her a little bit later. Haley Primrose went 16 and 5, had a 2.77 ERA, and they had Maddie Baker hitting 373. Couple, um, or they picked up a key transfer in Julie Quarkonac, second team All American in JUCO, hit a career 416, 26 home runs, 87 RBIs. Really big bat addition to their lineup. Like the looks of Texas or LSUA.
Yeah, let's hope LSUA will still be followers and fans of us after March picked against them is my only thing.
Yeah. Well,
Can't
not
have
his.
can't blame the guy.
uh,
He had to make a business decision. It was either pick Weber and sleep inside or pick LSUA and sleep outside.
yeah, and he picked Weber and he got both treats. So
That's true. And the game got canned anyway. You know what? It may be our fault. If I didn't give him the second treat, maybe the game didn't get canned.
yeah,
Hmm.
we'll have to
March,
figure
March like, that's not true. That's not what happened. Nice.
it out. Moving on to number three in the conference, Houston Victoria. Another good season for them last year. They go 33 and 14. They got Kenzie Chambers. She hit 492 last year with 49 stolen bases. Um, Fred Rivers didn't have Haley Fontenot. She might be another favorite for Player of the Year. Allison Snedeker hit 346. They do lose Cameron Cohen in the circle. She had a 1.73 ERA with 150 innings pitched. And their number two, Anissa Mendoza. But they do pick up Audrey Sayas, pitcher from Temple College, Jocelyn Galvin from Vernon College, and Hope Keenwans from the University of Southwest. Hi, Marsh.
Anything to say? Love softball. Go softball. When's my matchup pick? I want my treat. I get one today, dude. No matchup. That's bull crap.
And moving on to number one, Olu. They go 57 and 3 last year. They bring home the red banner to San Antonio. Um, Obviously, they lose a veteran and a star player in Cassie Valdez. We'll have to see what
Now
Bruce
that
can put together this year, but they do return freshman phenom Ava Hernandez. Great numbers in the circle last year, and what time she did see had a 1.47 ERA, 93 strikeouts, went 18 and 2. Also good bat for them, hit 362, 25 RBIs. They return catcher Grace Ross, 345, 34 RBIs, 9 home runs. Alyssa Flores, and Valerie Valema also saw 28 innings last year in the circle. What you got?
I was going to just show this whenever are you done with Olu? Talking about Olu?
Yeah, Demolo.
All right. I just want to show this and give a shout out to my guy, Coach Bruce Linton. He gave me this as we were celebrating them winning last year. Signed it 2024 Olu softball. He signed it along with Gus and Rookie up there. Try to get that.
Yeah.
But it's their bracket. The official bracket had all the games that we just got horribly wrong in predicting last year. But I just want to show you. I got hanging up in my office. I want to take it down. Show, show it off.
Hey, Gus is retired now, right? It's just rookie.
Believe so. I believe that is correct. Don't want to confirm that, but I'm pretty sure. Yeah, because he had his senior day last year.
At
So
senior
yeah,
day, yeah.
that's right. That's right.
Yeah. A couple other teams this year: Houston Telliston. They got Isabella Roblero, Menina Cavazos, Xavier University of Louisiana. Seven newcomers. They bring back Madison Winston, Amaya Williams, um, Maya Tyler. Texas College picked to finish ninth in the Red Rivers. They bring back Ariana Chapa, Vasquez, Gabriela Thomas Bryce, Zoe Braxton. They do have a new head coach leading the ship for them, Bianca Gonzalez. And then Southwest picked to finish eight. Jarvis Christian picked to finish 10. But moving on to my Red River predictions, I think I'm going to go LSUA this year. I like the looks of them. If Olu were to win it, I would not be the least bit surprised. Um, but I'm going to ride LSUA between their JUCO transfer and my player of the year, Haley Fontenot. I will go pitcher of the year, Ava Hernandez, but I'm going to ride LSUA this year.
I think it's Fontenot.
No,
Fontenot. I think that's right. Fontenot.
Haley, I'm sorry.
Oh my God. Just giving that team and that coach that kind of bulletin board material is just
No
dangerous.
disrespect to my guy Bruce.
I'm gonna go LSUA in the regular season. Give you
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
I'm going Olu in the tournament. I think they're even that is dangerous. It's dangerous. It's dangerous. I can't wait to get that phone call. There's he's gonna have that blasting. That's gonna be this right here is gonna be blasting. So hello, hope y'all are having a good practice. Olu softball.
Hey, I wear my three-peat Olu champ shirt quite often, so still
Yeah.
an Olu fan.
If they do it, we're going to get a four. You know what? That's really what this is. We're picking LSUA to win the regular season and get that 4P. But in all seriousness, I am huge on LSUA coming into the year. I don't think it was a smart pick for Marsh to pick Weber over LSUA in that game. But didn't happen anyway, so it don't matter. Yeah, no, LSUA they return a lot. This team that broke through last year onto the national stage, they were that I would say, yeah, surprise team, man. I think Coach Trent's done a good job in a short time, and he's going to continue to build on that heading into this year. Big LSUA softball fans, big Red River. I think there's two
Yeah,
teams that are going to make deep postseason runs at least, possibly three or four. But just looking at the top, Olu, LSUA, that's a strong top two heading into the year. I like your picks though with pitcher and player of the year.
yeah, yeah. Those I stand by for sure.
All right, let's see who we got next. We head to
Northstar.
the we head to the North Star. So last year, Bellevue won the regular season again. Dickinson State, they that was a huge win just as far as opening round in the conference tournament. Because I believe many people believe coming in, hey, Bellevue's going to win that conference, going to win the conference tournament. One bid league, and then bang, Dickinson State wins it, and they earn a spot into the opening round, where they even won a couple games in. At Central Methodist. Yeah, Central Methodist. I was about to say Marion, but they were at Central Methodist last year. Anyways, yeah, okay. Yeah, sorry. I might have said a complete. I was looking at who I had to win the tournament that I'm gonna say later on, and my brain just went. Anyways, let's start with Bellevue. Bellevue returns Katie Cunningham, who was a player and pitcher of the year last year, batting 300 with a 1.83 ERA. They also bring back Leanna McMurdy, who had 10 doubles in her first 3 years, in all three of her first years. 3 years in Bellevue. They also bring back Etiana Rodriguez, who had 15 extra base hits and batted 335 with 10 stolen bases last year. Bringing in some newcomers, Caitlin Fisher, Savannah Short, and Maria Unzagat. Butchered that. But Bellevue will also be in Oklahoma and Shawnee. So excited to see them there. Valley City State, they are a team that is always at the top of the Northstar Conference. Obviously, they return a lot of production. They bring back their ace, Maddie Zander, who had a 3.26 ERA last year in 131 innings. She racked up 123 strikeouts. Ashlyn Demert batted 310. She returns along with Mackenzie Stone, who batted 328, and Alyssa DePorter batted 364 with 16 extra base hits. And the big bat that is back for Valley City State is Lauren Gronberg. She batted 430, had 8 homers and 8 doubles, and tallied 44 RBIs. They've got a good bit of newcomers they're excited about as well. Jamestown is picked to finish third in the conference. Dickinson State is predicted to finish fourth, followed by Mayville and Dakota State. Watch out for Dickinson State heading into the year. Obviously, a team that knows how to win in the conference tournament. They got hot at the right time last year. No reason they couldn't do it again this year. They returned Kylie Hubie, who had 13 doubles and batted 327 last year. Also returned Haley Davis, Jai Maddox Hernandez, Rhiannon Butler, and Allison Eldridge was key. Excuse me, Butler and Allison Eldridge, two of their key pitchers returning back. They also bring back a JUCO transfer in Brooke Lajewski, who batted 471, had 15 home runs, a big transfer gift from them. They also bring back Selena Wilharm, an Olu transfer, who obviously knows a thing or two about winning some big games. So watch out for Dickinson State. Also for Mayville, they returned the freshman of the year out of the North Star and Lindsay Tula. Also bring back a good center fielder in Mackenzie Hughes. So Mayville, possibly a team that could wreak a little havoc in the North Star. But I'm going to go Bellevue. This very experienced team. They know how to compete in the regular season and in postseason play. They've fairly well dominated this conference in the regular season. They know how to run the marathon. I think they do it again this year and win the regular season. But I think for the second year in a row, it's not the Bellevue Bruins winning their conference tournament. It will be Valley City State, and they'll be doing it with the player of the year in 2025, Logan Gronberg. And I do have Katie Cunningham winning back-to-back pitchers of the year, but Gronberg takes that player of the year from her.
Yeah,
Carly,
I like
anything?
Valley City State.
What was that?
I like the Valley City State pick.
Like that?
I'm between them or Dickinson for tournament.
Are you going Bellevue for the regular season?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Bellevue just too much experience. Really good coach, knows how to go through that regular season and take care of business when they need to. I'm pretty confident in that pick, really, and them winning the regular season. And I like Valley City State in the postseason. I think they're due for a big postseason finally, and I think it's this year.
Yeah. Up there in North Dakota.
Chilly weather. Couldn't do it. Not me. I'm good down here in Florida.
Yep. Them when we would go up to Jamestown, them drives to North Dakota were awfully boring.
Hmm. We want to head east over to the river states.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Yeah. Rio?
Rio. Yeah, Rio.
See, I always get confused. It's them and another one where I butcher it. Anyways,
Yeah.
Rio Grande favorites entering the year. They won the tournament last year. They're going to be my favorite this year. But starting off with picked number 3 and the River State St. Mary of the Woods. They finished 24-8 last year. They have an all-new coaching staff. They got head coach Gina Furry Buse. She was their pitching coach last year. A couple assistants in Jen Solers, Philip Stockton, Christina Haymaker. Complete change in the culture and staff this year. They bring back Jaylee Crawford, Emily Fitzwater, Michaela Mills, Jasmine Kinzer. Pick up a couple in the offseason and Madison Moultrie, Elise Rollins. Um, Excited to see what they can do this year, especially with the additions in the coaching staff. Um, so yeah, pick number 3 this year. To number 5, Oakland City University. They also bring in a new head coach, McKendry Ward. They return Madison Shipley, Casey Wood, Morgan Sonner. Newcomers in Kinsley Heichelbeck, Grace Butcher, Catherine Hibbett, Paige McDaniel. And if I'm remembering when I was putting this together, I think there is a new theme in changes in the coaching staff this year. I will continue.
Yeah.
Uh, WVU Tech picked to finish 8th. They have a new assistant in Brandon Moore. They bring back Macy Wilkins, Olivia Barnett, Haley Skeens, newcomer Susan Gray, Megan Paul, Taylor Floyd, and Kaylee Waddell. Moving to number 4, IU Southeast. They have another change to the coaching staff. Head coach Aaron Templeman and assistant Madison Wappen. They return Brinley Bennett. She hit 299, had 11 extra base hits last year. Josie Lemons, 336, 25 stolen bases. Savannah Gaither, Izzy Wright, Mackenzie Walters hit 356. And Hallie Foley in the circle, 58 and 2/3 under her belt, had a 2.15 ERA. They make 6 additions to their roster this year. Graduated 7 seniors last year, still returning 4 all RSC players from last season. Youthful but driven roster. So they're going to have some competition at pretty much every position.
Mm.
To number 1, Rio Grande, 21 and 11 in the RSC last year. They returned Madison Ogden, hit 393 last year, 32 RBIs in the circle, 257 strikeouts with a 1.55 ERA. Returned Gabby Adams, 359, 9 home runs. Kayla Sedgwick, 351. Lost some speed on the bases in Caitlin Brisker. But yeah, Rio Grande with a very solid team returning this year.
Yeah, and they were a team last year. I saw up at the NFCA leadoff in Columbus. I was really impressed, especially with Ogden in the circle. They went on to have a really strong year, and I think it's going to happen again.
Yeah.
Yep.
Number 2, Shawnee State. They went 23 and 9 in the RSC last year. Big loss in Cassie Berry in the circle. She had a 1.9 ERA and 129 innings pitched, but they do return freshman Sierra Dunnigan. She hit 423 last year with 45 RBIs. Jenna Christopher, 352. Lauren Spears and Mackenzie Hale both hit around the 320 mark. And then they bring back Amariah Horner in the circle, just 92 innings pitched with 86 strikeouts and a 3.78 ERA. Couple more within the conference. Midway picked to finish 6th. They go 20 and 27 last year. IU Columbus picked to finish 7th, and Brescia picked to finish 9th. So yeah, my favorite for this year got to be Rio Grande, and I got Madison Ogden with clean sweep in awards.
I think it's Rio. Is it Rio? I think it's Rio Grande. I know that's what we called them last year.
Oh,
All good. It might be Grande. I think it's Rio Grande though.
no,
So
I think you're right. I got my head in the.
it's all good. We're not used to recording in the morning. It's fine. Rio Grande. And I agree with you. Just about all the way. I like them to sweep. Yes. I like pitcher of the year Ogden. Yes. I will go a little bit different though with player of the year. I'll go with Shawnee State's Sierra Dunnigan, who had a really good freshman year. I think she builds on that in a sophomore slump. They get that batting average north of 450, crack 50 RBIs. I think that could be good enough for her to win player of the year in the Red River. Anything else, or ready to move on?
No, let's hit it.
All right, we'll head on to the Southern States Athletic Conference. William Carey, the defending champions across the board. They won the conference in the regular season and in the tournament. last year. They are picked to win the conference again. This year, they got all the first place votes except for one, obviously. They are expected to win it. They do have some questions to answer. We don't really know who's coming in. We'll didn't get a question. We didn't get a questionnaire back, but we'll surely see who's going to be replacing the likes of Carly Kidder, Dee West, Brooke Tanner, Rachel Rodriguez. Carly, obviously, names that we got to know really well last year in that really good Crusader squad that came up just short against Jessup. You think about how well they played, how good those games were, how crazy those games were in Hattiesburg, Mississippi last year. I mean, if they're able to get through that, that could very well have been the team playing for the national championship last year, just like
Yeah.
Jessup was.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, losing close in your own opening round was tough way for them to end the year, especially with those seniors. But you look at why they are picked to win this conference. It is what they've got returning in the circle. Kate Schroeder's a big arm for him, of course, but Ryan Hornsby. I think if you want a not just basic, not picking Sophie Williams, not picking Annalise, not picking Kira for like a pitcher of the year, NAI pitcher of the year. I think Hornsby would be a good name. A ton of experience, had a great year last year. I think she's going to have another big year for William Carey heading into this year. But looking after William Carey, there's another really good arm returning in Avery Harrell with the Mobile Rams. They lost a couple of big players. Last year, them not being in the opening round was a shocker. But they've got a lot of new faces coming in. Their lineup, they're going to lean on Lily Lanham and Madeline Sheffield in the lineup. You look at who they have coming in: Samantha Landici, Lucy Spisto, Gracie Mitchell, Katie Kempton, and Riley Smith. Some names to watch out for the Rams, who are trying to get back to what they were back in 22 when they were in the World Series final. And they have a couple of members of that team that were key now on the coaching staff in Kristen Black and Emily Butts. Remember, Carly, I don't think you were on for that interview. I think it was like a middle of the day interview. You weren't able to hop on, but we had
Right.
them on with Coach Cook like 30 minutes after Toby Keith passed away, and it was an emotional interview for all involved heading into that.
I love Toby Keith.
This season's for Toby. This season, I guess last season was kind of for Toby, but it's everything's for Toby Keith. All softball moving forward. Anyways, Middle Georgia State in their last year in the NAIA, they're already 2-0, picked up some good wins against Ave Maria to start off their season, to kick off the Southern State season. They return uh, two pitchers, their two key pitchers in Proctor and Madison Riggins. Riggins will obviously be leading the lineup along with Alexis Cosgrove, who is back. They return a really reliable glove in Cameron Phillips, as well as Gabby Hass. You look at Middle Georgia, they're looking to pull a Jessup, make a deep run, put their stamp on the NAI before they head D2. After those three is Faulkner. Faulkner at number 4. They return a really, really strong player in Chloe Davidson, who batted 411, had 12 doubles and 12 stolen bases for them. They also bring back Anna Catherine Segras. Burton Parker's predicted to finish 5th. Thomas after them. They return Sierra Usuri, Ansley Eason, Gracie Hodges for the Nighthawks. My dark horse team out of the Southern states is UT Southern. They were a team that picked off a couple of these big dogs throughout the year. Last year, they returned Cassidy Davis, newcomer of the year out of the conference, who went 10-13 in the circle with a 3.80 ERA. She batted 354. They returned live production also with Hannah Lindsay, Stella Gilbreth, Hannah Hill, and Michaela McGain. Blue Mountain Christian predicted to finish eighth. It could be another team to watch out for. They return a lot of production with Lee, Favre, MJ Mitchell, Madison Montgomery, and Bree Langley. The new member of the conference is Abraham Baldwin Agriculture College, better known as ABAC. And now that they are in, Thomas University is no longer I got to double check. I'm pretty sure now ABAC is the closest NAIA school to where I grew up. This was a junior college team, so it's not like their first year program or anything. They were a really, really good junior college team. Obviously, they're going to be picked to finish towards the bottom of the conference along with Point. But ABAC, welcome to the conference. Hey, I'm always going to cheer for a 229 team. Come on, the 229, baby. Let's go, ABAC. Let's go. A little extension of the University of Georgia there. But yeah, newcomer. Love to see it. For our prediction time for this conference, you know what? Last year in the NAI, I think Middle Georgia does leave a little bit of a stamp on this conference. They're predicted to finish third, but I think they will win the regular season behind what they have returning in the circle. A little bit of pop in the lineup, too. I think Middle Georgia surprises a lot of people and takes home the conference in the regular season. I do think William Carey, with what they have coming back in the circle and that experience, Schroeder, Hornsby, I think the bats will develop throughout the year, and it'll be good enough once I get to the tournament. It'll be hot at the right time. I'll go William Carey to win the tournament. And as far as my player of the year, I'm gonna go Chloe Davidson from Faulkner. Had a huge year last year. I think she does it again this year. But for pitcher, I'm gonna go with the repeat. I'll go with Hornsby from William Carey.
No, I gotta agree there. Hornsby she put up good numbers last year. I see it happening again this year.
You got player of the year or anything different besides Middle Georgia regular season William Carey and attorney?
If anything, I'd flip it,
Okay.
but no, those are my top two this year too.
Gotcha. Well, let's head back up north to the Wolverine Hoosier Athletic Conference.
The good old WHAC. Last year, Madonna, they win it all, did something not a lot of teams can do. They go 22-0 in conference play.
Crazy.
They all picked, what's that?
It's crazy, crazy impressive.
Yeah, insane. Something absolutely insane to do. But I guess we'll see if they can do it again this year. They are picked number one this year in the conference. They go 54-6 last year, 22-0 in conference. Make a very solid postseason run. They returned 7 all-WHAC players, including All-American Alyssa Gauthier. Hit 415 for them last year, 51 RBIs. They got all-region catcher and National Gold Glove winner Mac Ming and National Gold Glove outfielder Reagan Finkbeiner. 2 key new infielders for them, Bryn Anto and Riley Fitzpatrick. Obviously, a big loss for them in the circle. Mason Schloud, 123 ERA, 272 innings, 301 strikeouts. But in non-Mason decisions, they were 17-1. So pitching will still be solid. Offense and defense will be better. Yeah, Madonna, another solid team this year. We'll probably see Jane Anderson in the circle, had a 9.92 ERA in 53 innings. Yeah, Madonna bringing back a lot of firepower in their
Yeah,
lineup.
I know Schloud's gone, but I don't think this team's taking a massive step back.
No,
Yeah,
should get them right.
for sure. Right. Someone is going to get them right. I mean, but also seriously, I mean, looking at the lineup, I mean that's a good bit of returning production from a World Series team.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And I mean, it's not like Jane Anderson. Oh, that's just the average number. That's a really good number too.
Oh yeah.
Oh, number
Yeah.
one.
And they got Lacey Harris behind her,
Right.
and who knows, you know, they got anyone in, but
Yeah.
yeah.
We'll see.
Uh,
They play Cumberland's. They play Cumberland's coming up, so we're going to see real quick.
yeah, we're gonna find out. Number 2, Northwestern Ohio. They go 33-17 last year, 16-6 in the conference. They return a couple all WHAC players in Danny Keeley and Anna Ankney. They also bring back Tess Denning. Holy crap, cannot speak right now. Carson McLaughlin. She had a 2.39 ERA with 41 strikeouts. They make three additions in Lainey Wooten, CeCe Campbell, and Brent Cobb. Solid number two team in the conference this year. I think they can be a little tough to handle for Madonna. We will see. Might make a tournament run. Quinoas?
Aquinas.
Kiwanis.
Aquinas.
Yeah, that was the other one I struggle with. I will get it right by next episode.
Hey, look, like we say, hey, coaches,
Quan.
listening, fans, you don't want your team playing the best first series. We're getting our swings in. We're getting our looks in too. We're getting into it. We're good.
Yep. Yep. I'm a little rusty. But yeah, Aquinas picked to finish third in the WHAC, 42-15 last year, 15-7 in the conference. They returned Carson Hendrickson, Emma Hausman, Sophia Pavis had a 2.38 ERA last year, 138 innings under her belt, 77 strikeouts. A couple newcomers for them, Ada Bradford and Rayanne Drummond. Moving on to number 4, Indiana Tech. They go 34-15 last year, 14-8 in the conference. Savannah Bravo, big returner for them in the circle, had a 1.55 ERA with 167 innings pitched, 139 strikeouts. Carly Walter, she took a year off, is back for Indiana Tech this year. Alyssa Fox, Kirsten Delaney, Mare Truba, a couple newcomers in Mallory Stinson, Rhiannon McKay, Lila Farrell. They got Coach Kristen Mielek returning, and they add Sammy Jo Mata. Super excited for the year. They are ready to get rolling.
Mm-hmm.
Cleary University Cougars, 14-27 last year, 8-14 in the conference. They return Hallie Dargy, Mia Zebka, Grace Pasterick, Jenna Wagenschutz. A couple newcomers looking to see some improvements in all aspects of their game this year. Lourdes University Gray Wolves, 13-29 last year, 7-15 in the conference. They return Kirsten Smith, Brooke Albert, Lindsay McGann, Liv Hickman, a couple newcomers in Carly Conrad, Alyssa Goretzka, Abby Stanfield. New head coach in the helm for them this year, Candace Fenton Bachbrader, and assistant Tammy Summers. Moving on to Cornerstone University, 26-23 last year, 500 in the conference at 11-11. They return Alyssa Brom, McKenna Gildy, Mariah Sprague, Maddie Chapman. Newcomer for them is Gabby Mecca. Number 5 in the conference this year, Concordia, 43-16 last year, 15-7 in the conference. Big loss for them in the circle in Emily Underwood, had a 1.73 ERA last year with 170 strikeouts. But they do return Faith Crampton, hit 355, 25 RBIs. Kate Tobias, 388, 54 RBIs for them. And Peyton Lewis, a little speed on the bases with 18 stolen bases, hit 318. Lawrence Tech University, 24-25 last year, 13-9 in the conference. A couple key returners for them, Alyssa and Ashlyn Bloomfield, Zoe Markey. New head coach for them as well, Coach Mike Meese and assistant Dave Landlois and Rachel Meese. And then Defiance, Michigan Dearborn, Rochester Christian, and Sienna Heights. I'm going to go with probably the easy decision, Madonna to win it all again this year. I got Alyssa Gauthier in Player of the Year, and I'm going to roll Savannah Bravo for Pitcher of the Year.
Yeah, I'm with you all the way. I think you went 4 for 4 there. I'll go a little different though with Pitcher of the Year. I'm just going to go all the way with Madonna.
Okay.
I'll go Anderson to win pitcher of the year. I love this Savannah Bravo pick. He's been one of the best pitchers over the last 2 years in that conference. A little bit of a sophomore slump. I think she bounces back in a big way. I like the pitcher of the year pick, but I'm gonna go all Madonna. I think they're gonna be just there will be a little, they're not going to win. They're not, I don't think they win 54 games again. I don't think they go undefeated in conference play again. I think they're still in the high 40s. They're going to win this conference. They're going to be a 1 seed. They're going to be in the opening round. And won't surprise me at all if they end up back in Columbus.
Yeah.
All right. One more. So, last one, and it'll be a quick one. The GSAC. So the new look GSAC, only 6 teams in the conference. We'll start. I couldn't find a preseason coaches bowl, so we'll just start with Hope International. Hope International, excited to have them out in Oklahoma, number 17 team in the country coming in. Obviously, the big question, though, Carly, is who's going to replace the production of Ali Puente in the circle. Do return Grace, who is our number 2. They've got some good production coming back in the lineup with Emma McCraw, who batted 357, Sarah Reisler at 321, and Sam Villanueva, who had 14 extra base hits and batted 314. But for Hope, it's what the pitching situation will look like. They have maybe the toughest schedule out in Oklahoma. They have got a gauntlet out there. So I'm excited to see what they've got playing. They'll go up against Cumberland's. They're going up against USAO, Oklahoma City, and Breed Hardeman in Columbia. So pretty tough matchup out there. Arizona Christian will be heading out as well. Kind of similar situation as Hope, who replaces their ace in Savannah Smith. Looks like that question will be answered with freshman Hannah Butcher, and of course they have Diana Herrera coming back. Great two-way player. Herrera batted 365 last year, 42 RBIs, and had a 3.06 ERA in 121 innings. They're 1-1 to start the year. Also in the lineup, they have Jaden Miles, who batted 414, had 16 stolen bases for Coach Mike Maben, and Arizona Christian, who I'm excited to see them continue to build and come out to Oklahoma as well. But Carly, here's the team. Here's the team that I alluded to earlier. Here is my and I want to see him play first before I completely give him that Madonna comp. And like we saw on tail from Madonna last year when they weren't ranked and they go on that run and we were right. I think this is the team that is not ranked, that is disrespected in the polls, and has got a ton of production coming back in a 6-team conference. It is Embry-Riddle. I am high on Embry-Riddle. They have an All-American coming back in Emma Almodoba. She batted 426 with 13 extra base hits last year. Autumn Selessi comes back, who batted 364 with 22 extra base hits. And another name that I would throw in that Hornsby conversation of not one of your it's not the Williams, the
Yeah.
super popular pitcher of the year pick, but
Yeah.
Vanessa Brink, who pitched on 158 innings and had 221 strikeouts. That's a good one. I think that's a pretty good with a sub 2 ERA. I think that's not a bad pick. And they also bring back their second leader in production in the circle, and Claire Steeder. That sounds like a recipe for a team that can win this conference and go on a deep postseason run, Carly.
Yeah.
Uh, wrapping up, Ottawa, Arizona. They bring back Mia Casadilla, who batted 312. Brianna Humphreys, who batted 409 with 22 extra base hits. And Olivia Hernandez, who had a really good freshman year, could absolutely be a pitcher of the year candidate in that conference. She had a 2.02 ERA and 173 innings pitched. Park Gilbert, they have a new coach. Noel Gum returns, who had a great freshman year, 14 doubles, batted 369 as a freshman. Also bring back Ladzima Romero, who batted 319. Benue Mesa, they lost a lot of production. We'll see what Benue Mesa has early on this year. We'll talk more about them just kind of just we don't have much on here. We do it for the rest. But anyways, in this 6-team conference, I think this is Embry-Riddle. I'm buying a lot of Embry-Riddle stock now. It's hard for me to go against Hope and Arizona Christian, especially Hope, just with knowing that they have the experience. But Embry-Riddle coming in from the Kcac, joining GSAC softball, I think they come in and their dominance from the Kcac era will translate over to this GSAC. I think Emma Almodoba wins Player of the Year. Vanessa Brink wins Pitcher of the Year, and Embry-Riddle sweeps the conference.
Yeah. I agree with you. Pitcher stance. I think player of the year could be a couple toss-ups, maybe Dana Herrera, Brianna Humphreys, but I ride Embry-Riddle.
All right, well, there it is, folks. The only ones we didn't talk about were the independents. We'll talk about them a little bit in the next episode. We just need to get a little more information back, but I mean, Georgia Gwinnett is going to win the conference, win the conference tournament. And
Annalise Jarvis is going to be
Service,
who
yeah.
she is.
Okay, all right. That's not our complete preview of the independents, but there's some days. We'll talk more about the teams on the next episode, maybe, probably. We'll see. Let's see. Carly, I'm just looking at the scoreboard right now. I'll tell you what kind of weight Evangel Olu, they play their second doubleheader. That's a big one. But not a whole lot on the slate. Um, let's see. Northwestern's playing York, getting their season started. Dordt looked really good. I know you're really high on them at GPAC. They had a nice start to the year, 9-2 win.
Yeah, yeah.
Let's see who's playing Sunday. Ave Maria and Thomas, little Southern States versus Sun Conference action there. Our friend Mimi Maggard, St. Andrews, they start their season as they host Spartanburg Methodist. Real quick, Southern Oregon against Simpson, they looked really good to start the year. I'm gonna pull. We'll worry about it later. Yeah, not gonna look into it. We'll be back on. Let's see. We'll be back Tuesday. We'll talk about some of these games that we're not really looking at too much right now, but we'll look at some of the games from Saturday, Sunday, Monday. We'll talk about those on Tuesday's episode as well as the week one. This was kind of like week zero, a couple games here or there. Give us something to talk about. Week zero is done, wrapping up. Next week's week one. We got big games next week. We'll start talking about those on Tuesday. We'll talk about some of our top performers from the weekend on Tuesday's episode. Start previewing these games and everything in the midweek. Like I said, now moving forward, Tuesday morning, Friday morning. Those are going to be when you're getting episodes, unless just something happens that's out of our control. But yeah, Tuesday and Friday. Carly, you got anything for the folks?
I do not.
All right. Well, to all those that are starting off their season, good luck this week. And to everybody that's starting it next week, enjoy this last weekend of peace because it is about rock and roll time.
Yep.
All right. Well, y'all have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your weekend. We'll be back with you on Tuesday.